Hello, hello. Welcome back to another week. I'm going to try to keep this video brief because I've had a long weekend and frankly I'm a little tired, but I wanted to be consistent with journaling this kind of video. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. If you recall last week, the main theme was I was de-risking, I was deleveraging because there was a lot of uncertainty coming into this week with earnings, FOMC, trade deals, all those things. So I followed through with that decision, and I indeed deleveraged last week. I had some small plays that I kept open on Google that I sold into Monday, and I held one single long call through earnings for like a 3K gain there, some smaller calls in here for like a 1,500 gain, traded a debit spread through earnings. And so overall on Google, I closed for about $5,100 gain. Now, had I held my entire giant long position that I closed out last week with 10 long contracts all the way through earnings, yes, I would have made like another tens of thousands of dollars probably. That would have been really cool. But nobody ever went broke taking profits, and I'm honestly happy with the fact that I followed through with my plan to de-risk into a questionable week, because on the flip side, the downside is very large. I could have lost tens of thousands of dollars. So I'm okay with that. I still have shares of Google that I held through earnings because I don't have any risk of time premium decay. I'm okay with holding long term there. But for the options, I wanted to close as much of that as possible before earnings, and that was fine. Now, following up on the de-risking, or continuing on the de-risking theme, on Monday I sold my Bloom Energy position of 100 shares that I'd acquired back in here somewhere for an $1,800 gain, and that was because earnings were on Tuesday, and I again did not want to hold through earnings. Yes, Bloom Energy went up 20% after earnings, but it could have also gone down 20%. As a very volatile stock. And so it went up. I actually made some more money selling premium on Bloom Energy after earnings, because this reaction showed me that there is a lot of really great interest. And so I'm still interested in building a position on Bloom Energy. I missed out on like 20% jump there, but I will still continue making money on Bloom Energy. And in general, just across the board, I made about $1,400 on selling premium, essentially. So selling premium on like open positions I have open. So it's like covered calls, puts. So I sold an Uber call. I have a Webull position that I'm just selling calls on until I exit. Like I said, I sold puts on Bloom Energy. I sold a put on Cien, which worked out pretty well. I did some buy rights on Hood, down somewhere around here, down in here, and it bounced up nicely for a profit. And I sold covered call on my Google, on like my remaining Google shares up here, when it was hitting this trend line. I thought, okay, there's no way it's going to break here, and if it does, then I'll be happy to take profit at that point, because it needs to pull back, which it did. So yeah, that's the main profit-taking things that happened this week. As for my biggest loss, I decided to cut my losses on UUUU. I genuinely just don't know enough about it. It had broken through the 20-day moving average. I was like, this is just bleeding me at this point. I don't want to have to think about this anymore. So I'm going to cut my losses. And I exited for a $1,700 loss on UUUU. And then for the rest of it, my trading was pretty light this week. Like I said, it's been a busy, a little stressful week outside of trading. So I didn't do a ton of day trades, but I did lose a little money there, I think, based on what it panned out to in the final calculations. But my premium selling and my swings, like my high conviction swings, seem to be doing well, and I want to continue that. Now, going into next week, I already covered that I'm interested in Bloom Energy. I've started building a new position on Google. I actually bought 4 long calls on Friday down in here when it was around 280, 279, and this the play here that I was thinking was if it bounces on Monday, Tuesday, kind of like what it did in here when it hit this trend line, pulled back and bounced up for 2 days. So Monday, Tuesday, I'd be interested in seeing if it can get up to this upper trend line again or close to it, in which case I'll take profits. And if it continues like selling a little bit this way, I'm okay with adding all in here. Like this area is all fine for me to add if it pulls back some more. And then I'll dollar cost average in a little lower. But yeah, that's what I got for this week. Overall, locking in just over $6,000 in profits. So I'm very happy with how this week went, even though I did miss out on a whole bunch. But yeah, such is trading, and looking forward to what next week brings. Good luck. Hope you have a good week as well.